welcome to the 83rd episode of Impact Media Presents. This is a very special segment. This is an addendum to our 12 Christmas favorites, highlighting Dwayne P. Mitchell, who played Dennis Edwards in Ain't Too Proud, Life and Times of the Temptations. And we have a special guest co-host, Jada Henry. You all are very familiar with Jada, who has been our team spokesperson for Impact Media for many decades, but now she's just spokesperson since she's no longer a team. So the past 12 years, Jada has been in that role. Dwayne, thank you so much for joining us. This is a special interview addendum because you weren't able to join Michael and I earlier, but we're so excited to have you here today to hear your story in particular. So we know our time is limited. So let's just dig right into it. Tell us about you and your story and how you got to the musical Ain't Too Proud.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. And to your co-host, Miss Jada, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. So I am, and I'm Dwayne P. Mitchell, and I have the honor of playing Dennis Edwards in Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations. It's an incredible journey that I'm on right now with this tour, and it has been an incredible journey leading up to being on this tour. So just a little bit about me before I, dive into how I got here. I am a first generation college graduate, and I left home at the early age of 18 years old to pursue music, actually. And I studied at Fisk University, which is a historically Black university in Nashville, Tennessee. And I studied there for 4 years. I studied classically. So I got my Bachelor's of Arts in vocal performance. While at that institution, I was able to just be exposed to so much in the entertainment industry and as a vocalist, including my graduate school that I went to. So in 2016, I sang with the Fisk Jubilee Singers, and we had a tour to Boston. And it was there that I discovered Berklee College of Music and the Boston Conservatory. And from that moment, I was like, oh, wow, there's a world outside of this world that I know. And I thought that I thought that was almost impossible because that had happened to me when I left home for Fisk University. I was like, okay, so this is the world outside of the world that I know. But as you grow and as you become, more invested into yourself and into the world becomes so much bigger. And so I left Fisk University and pursued my graduate degree at the Boston Conservatory at Berklee, where I received my Master of Fine Arts in Musical Theater. And have been started working as a student when I was in Boston, and got my equity card there. And from that point, just started to pursue my dreams and just going after it, literally. So that was also a very interesting time in my life. I graduated right when the pandemic happened. So much like everybody else, it was a tough time. So 2020 was the year that I graduated from my graduate program. And I was devastated like everybody else, especially in the entertainment industry and the arts, because I had a degree in a field that was completely closed. So I was like, what's next, Lord?
Right.
So talk about faith for all of us, but definitely just allowing God to order my steps and just to continue to, shine my light and to be grateful for, every atmosphere that I was able to enter. And I was able to become a teaching artist over the pandemic, of course, online, but just staying into the arts and pouring back into the community for the performing arts was such a blessing to be able to do over the pandemic. And shortly after that, I left to work for Royal Caribbean Entertainment for about a year, which was also an incredible journey. I was able to see the world for the first time in my life, experience things that I've never thought in a million years I'd be able to see, countries and places, and just so many great experiences. I know I'm kind of rushing through this, but all that to say, you never know where your journey will take you. And I knew that when Ain't Too Proud was on Broadway, at that time, I was like, I've never seen a show like this on this caliber, on this, on this type of stage, in this type of arena. And that was such an inspiration to me. And I was like, I've got to be in this show. And so, also during the time of the pandemic, I learned the power of manifestation. And so I wrote down every single goal that I wanted to achieve, and Ain't Too Proud was one of those goals that I wanted to be in. And I was like, I'm going to be in Ain't Too Proud. I'm not sure if it's going to be on Broadway or, you know, if they go on tour, I have to be in this show. So I wrote it down, and that year later was 2021, and then I was on Royal Caribbean, and this year 2022 I finished my contract on the seas, and I came back to the US, and you know, just continuing the journey of being a working artist. The hustle never stops, as they say.
Yes.
So just continuing to perfect my craft, and just getting to areas where I can see where I can perform, or take a class, or you know, have a voice lesson. And there was a time where I had auditioned 3 times previously for this production, and this year I got a email saying that they're seeing people again for the tour, and they would love for me to submit. And so I submitted again. And at the time I was in Chicago, I said, you know what, I'm just going to grab my things. I'm going to go to Chicago, and we're going to see what happens. And so I submitted again, flew to New York for a callback, and then flew back to Chicago the next day. And then that following week, they wanted me to come in for a final callback. And then I did my final callbacks, and have been, you know, with the tour ever since. And it's just, you know, the timeline of my trajectory to be in this moment right now on this tour is, when I look back on it, there's just so much gratitude that I'm filled with to be able to have experienced everything that I've experienced so far leading up to this point, because every atmosphere, every job that I've worked on, every thing that I was able to do was a tool that has helped me, that I'm using currently in this tour. So I'm just grateful. I know I'm rambling at this point, but I'm just grateful to be here, and I'm still learning. Each night I get to step into the shoes of Dennis Edwards is a learning experience, and to be surrounded by so many cast members who are, you know, gifted out of this world. It's always a student, always a teacher is something that I live by. So.
No, thank you so much. Jada actually saw you in Chicago, and then she took me as a Christmas gift last Thursday.
Yes.
And I was there again.
Playgoers under 25.
I was there on Tuesday, but I also saw the production in 2018, so that was my third time Tuesday.
Oh, awesome.
It was such a bliss to see you up close and personal doing your thing as Dennis Edwards, because you absolutely killed it. And I'm so grateful to your cousin, Kelly Grimes, for connecting us on Facebook when she saw my post about it.
Yes.
Seeing it, and when Jada.
Thank you, Kelly. Love you, Kelly.
Love you. So Jada has a few questions for you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to say how incredible the show is. I mean, as a young Black theater artist, you know, the arts and Black people are two of my favorite things. So
okay.
them combined is just always so inspiring to me. And it just filled me with so much joy. And I was so inspired. So thank you so much to you and the entire company. It was just incredible. And I want all of my friends to see it.
Please send them. Send them.
So my first question would be, what advice would you give to, you know, young performers aspiring to be in this field, particularly young Black performers?
So I would say, trust your journey. I thought that because life presented, it seemed for me that life presented so many obstacles that being in a place like this wasn't possible for somebody like me. But in fact, all of those obstacles and learning experiences that I've had prepared me for this moment, and helped me to get through everything I've gone through to be here. So trust your journey, because your journey is what's going to make the process worthwhile. That's the first thing. The second thing I will say is go for it. There is nobody on this earth who can bring in a space or a room or an audition what you can bring. There may be so many gifted and talented people in this world, but no one has your gift and the experience that you bring into the room and the light that you share when you walk into the space. So bring yourself. Don't try to mimic anybody. Don't try to be like anybody. Be yourself, because it sounds cliche, but it's so true. When I walk into audition rooms now, we are in a phase where theater is changing, and rightfully so, changing for the better. And in that, auditioners are looking for authentic artists. We're not looking for this cookie cutter performer who can, just kick their face and go across the floor and leap and, do all of these other things. We're looking for genuine artists who can tell real stories. And that's what Ain't Too Proud is. It's one thing to step into a character in a show, and those shows are great as well. And it's another thing to be able to step into characters like Dennis Edwards and David Ruffin and, people who actually walk this earth. And so, how can we use our light and our experience and our authenticity to step into these real life people every single night? So bring yourself into the room, bring yourself wherever you go, because we need you, truly.
Thank you. That was really great to hear, especially as I'm about to graduate and, take all the learning and training that I've had and just go for it. So thank you.
You have to go for it. Of course. And look, we might be in the same audition room one day. So like, that's another thing. Like, once you step out, everybody becomes your colleague. It's, of course, we have people that we look up to, but also, we are learning from people. I have people that I have graduated before who are, now in this arena that I'm learning from. So always a student, always a teacher. I know I say that, but it's true. You should always be learning in every area, every job that you work on, because it's, we're colleagues.
Yes. So my next question now, I know you said the show is running till 2024. So I know you're booked and busy as of right now.
Look, all God. I'm just leaving it all in his hands.
But I'm curious, if you have one, what would be like your dream role, like what you would absolutely just love to play someday?
So to make this story short, I was introduced to theater by a monologue competition, the August Wilson monologue competition in Atlanta. Yes. So that was my introduction. That was my introduction to theater. So I would say a dream role, a dream of mine, of course, is to continue to perform for the rest of my life, Lord. But also, to be on Broadway. And I would take any role in any August Wilson play, because that August Wilson holds a special place in my heart, because that's what, truly opened up my mind to theater and was my first outlet to my first experience with theater. So.
Absolutely. Ditto. I was a finalist in 2019 in the LA.
Yes.
And yes, I think probably Vera, 7 guitars, maybe far along.
Oh my gosh.
Journey, but
congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
people don't understand how rigorous that competition is. So I did that competition when I was in high school in Atlanta, and that competition is so rigorous. So truly, congratulations to you. That's an incredible accomplishment.
Thank you.
And continuing the legacy of August Wilson. So congratulations on that too.
Thank you.
Well, I know that we're closer to time, and we know you've got to run somewhere. Is there anything you want to say in closing?
Thank you so much again, Kelly, for having me. I'm just truly grateful. Anytime I get to talk about my experience or the experience of this show, it's a blessing, because we don't have a lot of outlets for Black and brown artists, or for Black presenting shows like this that have such a strong message. And this is an incredible experience to be a part of, and thank you for highlighting this and allowing me to be a part of it. And to you too, Jada, I'm so proud of you. You are amongst a lot of us who are out here as Black artists, pursuing theater and just the entertainment industry and what that's like to be a Black artist in today's age. So I just want to say thank you to you because that takes courage. And just continue to walk in your power. You got it.
Thank you so much.
We got some love in the chat. Jancietta Robert, Dr. Robin Holland, and Gary B. Russell Sr.
Oh my gosh.
Gary
That's
said,
family.
yes. So we know you have to run, but you are no stranger to Impact Media. And then Willie Monroe just said, great interview. So you are welcome to come back. We can expand. We know you're going to be in LA for, through the new year, then on to San Diego and up the coast. And so glad to hear that the tour is going through 2024. And we're expecting to see you on the tour all along, overseas, everywhere. You may see us pop up.
Please. And let me know. Let me know.
It was Dennis Edwards. Thank you for being and walking in excellence.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. We honor you, and we're giving you your flowers. And happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you.
Jada, thank you for tuning in and co-hosting with me today.
Absolutely.
Now of our favorites. And as we talked, we featured Ain't Too Proud earlier in the week, but it was wonderful to have a special opportunity to talk directly to Dwayne. And thank you for interviewing him and sharing your experiences as well. And I want to thank Cassandra for tuning in as well. And yes, I'll share with you in the chat how you can get it. Everyone, have a wonderful holiday season. Take good care.